Hello, greetings. This is Gilles. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're living this shifting time, for there's a lot of this. We have to avoid the mainstream media because so much smoke and mirrors. It's like this desperate attempt to by the media and their corporate associate, the pharmaceutical, to control the world. But we're gonna have to work towards social gathering to become close again. They want to make us afraid of each other, and so it's a whole. You do not want to give in to this massive fear and egomania that is being promoted in the media. For there is a great wave of love and light that is incoming. So get your surfboard and prepare yourself to let yourself go and to let yourself be transported into a higher dimension. For ready or not, the awakening is arriving. It will be followed by a transfiguration, by an enlightenment, by a transcendence, and finally the ascension. But it is coming whether we want it or not. So it's about leaving the conflict, the chaos behind, and to relax and meditate, to understand it. Everything that's been played out in the media is just a facade, or even in the world, in the physical, mostly in the media though, but it's because people are sincere as well. There is a great deal of sincerity and love and compassion that is coming out of a lot of most people, and so it is all a facade. It's like George Orwell explained that in 1948, in his book 1984. But Plato was already explaining that in the series of the cavern, in the allegory of the cavern, that we're only commenting about shadows on the wall. Everything that's been projected is just shadows on the wall that have been projected by a controller, those who seek to control, to keep humanity in fear so they can continue their program of control. But so there is a great deal of awakening, and there will be a lot of whistleblower, but the media can no longer control that. There is too many of them, too many people are awakening, and yet we do not want to fall into the trap of being solely polarized into the idea that we need to always be in this contrasting energy. For it is very important to pray. Praying is very essential because it connects us to higher forces. You can pray to God, it connects you to God. You pray for what you need, for what you want, for others, for the planet, for the dark souls, you send your prayers towards all the heads of state, regardless of their agenda, all of them, everybody. The more light you send into the world, the more chances that those people, some of them, will turn around and become part of the ascending process. So when you pray from your heart, and you can also pray to higher beings, to archangels, to ascended masters. So it helps us, it creates a connection when you pray to any higher beings. For it's always better to pray to God, but sometimes it is useful to pray to certain beings, higher beings from a higher dimension where you feel friendship with, connection to, and so because it assists in connecting this energy. And we do not need to be perfect in order to fulfill all our dreams and desires. We just need to be sincere. And the more sincere we are, the faster our prayers are being answered. For not all prayers are being answered, but manifested right away. But every prayer is being heard, and praying is very useful, for they are all heard and they all participate. What we need to do is to be in the eye of the storm, because there's so much that is going to be coming up in terms of that will shake up humanity to the core. So it's important to focus on joy, faith, and trust in the fifth dimension, in serenity, rather than to allow ourselves to be in fear and confusion of the 3D, to observe or even to comment on all this chaos that is going on, because that is the 3D choice. The ego will resist. The ego wants to stay in this familiarized dimension and form and shape and situation, but each of us has soul plan, and our soul plans, we have, the soul will get what it wants. If we need to awaken and move into fifth dimension, this is where we'll be going. Some people are not ready for that. They will stay in three dimension. We have to let them be and let them go. And so there is this full moon in Scorpio. I thought it was a new moon in Taurus that was coming up. I didn't see the moon for a long time because it's been clouded. But it's the Wesak is coming, and so we have this. I have my moon in Scorpio in my birth chart, so it will be a strong, powerful awakening on the emotional level. Understanding that all of it is just God, the infinity of God that is expressed in form. Every rock, every piece of sand, every insect, every bit of grass, every tree, every bird, every human being, every star, every planet is only God experiencing itself in form. And so once you understand that, you can tune into that frequency, and that will give you insight into all things, without the judgment of the critical mind. Even so, the essence is to get the ego out of the way. The ego, imagine your ego as a little object, and you ask it to sit on your left shoulder, to be an observer and not to participate in the experience of what is going on. It's a lot easier. For we're gonna be able to let go of a lot of beliefs, because all the planets are going retrograde this month. Very exceptional. All the major planets are going retrograde. So it's like a lot of introspection. We put things in perspective. It's going to be very useful. I had a very, very strange question that was in my mind this morning when I awakened, and I'm still not really sure what it is, but it's very mysterious. The question was, how can a hair stolen from hell can bring so much joy on paradise? How can a stolen hair from hell can bring so much joy on paradise? Quite a mysterious question. I still haven't really got the answer, but it got my attention for sure. I'm going to pull a few cards from the Angel Tarot, maybe 10 cards. So the situation is the dream. It's about unfolding your dream. What is it you really want out of life? What kind of society do you really want? Do not let anybody decide for you, for this is a time that is given to make those choices and to choose the timeline you're going to be aligning with. And then, of course, life will do what life does, but at least you stay focalized on your dream, on your desires. What comes around this situation is the power of the one, is the energy. All is energy. Matter is energy. Matter is just the tip of the iceberg of a great energy. It's far vaster than just the manifested energy. But so it's about understanding, tuning into the world of energy, the non-form, the void, the spirit realm that is ancestral to the world of matter, which is our origin. For we are that which we seek. We are love, we are light, we are the God we seek. And so never forget that, and know that is your true self that is unfolding. Once the ego is out of the way, the soul will reveal itself, and the spirit will guide the process towards a greater integration of all those energies. So what we see before us is authenticity. Simon self be true, as Shakespeare used to say. So it is very, very important to be as true, to be as sincere as possible, and not to judge yourself when you have thoughts that can deviate. Just be aware of it and seek to realign them. In the distant past, in the subconscious, we have complementarity. We understand our mission, our function, our complementarity in the world. We are all. Some people are very important in the ascension. Other people have roles that are complementary, and then some people have smaller role. But the bigger the role, the more the responsibility. So you do not seek, what you seek is to be you, to be in your own place, no matter what that is really the mission you want to fulfill. And the situation you are now is forgiveness. It's all about forgiveness. Forgiving yourself first. First you forgive yourself for any mistakes you've made. And then you forgive others. It's a lot easier to forgive others once you can forgive yourself. Very important, because otherwise there is those bonds that are negative bonds that are holding us back. And so it's a constant process, not like I've forgiven all about myself and all about others. It's like it's something that we need to work on. And the Christ, Jesus, Joshua came in with this unconditional forgiveness. He who has never sinned throw the first stone. He was a great teacher, and he still is. He will return into in the consciousness of mankind to guide humanity into this golden age. For what's coming up in the near future is elevation. It's like a cosmic elevator. This great wave of light will take us. If we do not resist, we will be taken into greater realms that we cannot even imagine. We are allowing ourselves to be elevated. We have to continue this detoxification as well. Our strength within the situation is hope. Speranza, it's hope. It's about hoping. It's hope. Hope is in the Elohim. It's a great Elohim, and we call on her, and we ask for hope to be strong. For it's like if we lose hope, we lose everything. So it's always like once eventually we we will bring hope. We won't need hope because we'll be where we will be in ascended form. But hope is we want to work with hope. Hope and faith is very, very important, because what comes to us from the outside world is hesitation. There is still a time that is given so people can self-determine what we feel in our inner emotion. Our hopes and fear is triumph. For there is this triumphant energy, this victory of the light that is being manifested. So we do want to stay calm and relaxed and peaceful and love ourselves. And the more we are able to channel this love for ourselves, the more we'll be able to bring it into the world as well. So there is this great triumph of joy and serenity we have to address those things inside of us before. Nobody can do that for us. Nobody can do our meditation. Nobody can do this inner work for ourselves. And it's very important. Even if it's whatever it is, it's like it needs to be addressed. And then the outcome is joy. Joy is something that has to come from within. Sometimes there are certain things that come from without that can bring us great joy. But if something comes from without that brings us great joy, it's because we have created the inner condition to receive that joy. Because if you haven't created the condition internally and joy comes in from outside, something that makes you happy from outside, it is not you that condition the level of joy. It is like the other person that beats the drum, as in the I Ching says that. So joy is like a lake. It's an inner process, but when we can share our joy, it becomes multiplied. So it is important to cultivate joy and to let go of the ego, to let God, to trust as much as possible. We hope this message has meaning for you. And so for the body is a vehicle, and the body is like a car. So sometimes we drive our car, we're very happy with a beautiful road, and it's like very happy. And then, but sometimes we're stuck in traffic, and it's like we don't really want to be there. And well, sometimes the car breaks down, or sometimes there is a little accident. But nevertheless, we will never our car. Where the car is just a vehicle, and so the physical body is just a vehicle for our soul and spirit. And it's only a temporary process that we're experiencing here. Although spirit is telling me, we may not, a lot of us, because of what is coming, the new frequencies, we may not even have to go through the portal of death. We may choose to abandon our physical body without loss of consciousness, which will be even better than. But even if we have to go through the portal of death, it is only a transition that will lead us to the freedom we seek in any event. So yet we have to cherish and treasure life always, and take care of ourselves and love. To become one with the unity of life as much as possible. Behind me is a painting from last year on paper. I was gonna rework on it, and it's like, but as I look at it, I can't really. It's too nice. It's too. It's like a flower girl. It's like a tree, or it's got this Matisse feeling, this very simple energy. But I really like it. I can't touch it anymore. It will probably stay like that. And this is part of a series of 7 paintings I did in Denver, Colorado, in 1999 about the 7 great families of spirit beings. This painting came together really quickly. It didn't take all that long, but it is really, really harmonious, and there's not really anything I can add to it. Also, it's the number 5 of that series. Very soon, I'm looking forward to presenting those into the world. I'm gonna sing a little song that went through my mind. It's a song about enlightenment. And it's a music album called a band named Enigma. I was listening to them in the early 90s while I was living in Florida. It was a great time of awakening for me. It goes like this. Love, devotion, feeling, emotion. Don't be afraid to be weak. Dum, da, 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 dum. Don't be proud to be strong. Da, 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 dum. Just look into your heart, my friend. That will be the return to yourself, the return to innocence. Hi, 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 oh, hi, 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 oh, hi, 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 oh, hi, 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 the return to innocence. If you want, then start to laugh. You must then start to cry. Be yourself, don't hide. Just believe in destiny. I don't care what people say. Just you follow your own way. Don't give up and use the chance. The return to innocence. Ay, 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 oh, ay, 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 oh, ay, ay. It is not the beginning of the end. It's the return to yourself, the return to innocence. Beautiful song, yes, the return to innocence, to the pure spirit. You are pure spirit originally. We have created all those layers of conditioning around us as we adapted to this life situation, but now we want to remove the veil, let all the veils fall naturally, and discover all the wonderful treasures that accompany this enlightenment. I thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.